Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news update. Junichi Masuda is on the move. I repeat, Junichi Masuda is on the move. Narita Airport for the first time, going on an overseas business trip, and there he is in the airport, travel ready. Where did he go first? My hometown of Seattle. But he's not here to visit me, so I can tell him about all the hacking and cheating that's going on in the corruption of the Pokemon Company International, and that WolfClick needs to be banned for life, if not, like, the entirety of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for his cheating and lying. But he is in Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, and this was a couple days ago. What's he doing in Seattle? Well, that's where the Pokemon Company office is, so he's on important Pokemon Company business. Now, what does that mean for Junichi Masuda? Because I know the idiots in the comment section are going to say,
but Junichi Masuda doesn't work for Game Freak anymore, so he can't do anything with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Here's the thing about James Turner and Junichi Masuda leaving Game Freak around May or June-ish of this year. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet development was done. That's a wrap in May. After that, you're talking about just testing, translating, polishing, and finalization. But a majority of the game is done. There's nothing being changed. There's no concepts that are going to be worked out. So all of their work, all of their contribution has been wrapped. And also, Junichi Masuda is still with the Pokemon Company as the Chief Creative Fellow. So being one of the Game Freak OG founders of Pokemon, he's still going to have a major impact, and no reason for him to not do interviews, even talking about the games. It gets kind of interesting because we've seen these, like, step downs from being, game directors, but also still working on the games. Pokemon Sun and Moon, producer. Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, producer. Also, sound designer. Detective Pikachu, game design advisor. So even, like, these non-Game Freak projects, also, yeah, that Detective Pikachu news I don't really care about. But this was made by Creatures? Really? Oh, I thought it was something else, kind of like how we see Bandai working on new Pokemon Snap. You know, new Pokemon Snap, Bandai Namco Studios, people saying, why doesn't Bandai make every single Pokemon game? Well, Creature's still going to work on a lot of the assets, and also when you have small controlled environments, and very few of them, well, not very few of them, but, you know, we don't have an entire region and large areas that need to be rendered, you can get away with a lot more graphical fidelity. Even then, very special thanks, which I would give as the to the creator of it. But, so yeah, like, producer stuff and like things like that. However, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee coming back as a director, and then there was a lot like that where Junichi Masuda announced probably going to be his last director position for Game Freak. But then Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, main series game developed by Oka, also a remake, and then Junichi Masuda came in as a director, supervisor on Pokemon Legends, producer of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then he was still doing interviews, so while not in a director position for Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Pokemon Sword and Shield, we see him major media campaigns, which is what this seems like it is, and then it's going to keep on growing from here, because not only that, good evening everyone, Japanese, after finishing my work in Seattle, I'm moving to the east coast of the United States, where when traveling from west to east, time difference is 3 hours. America is big. But now, after talking with the Pokemon Company, after setting things up over here, heading out to New York. So yeah, this actually seems like a full-fledged media campaign. And then on top of the interviews, going back to this stuff, E3, they're just like putting his face out there for Pokemon. So is that still going to happen for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? We're going to see. I don't think Omori is a part of this though, which would make more sense. Omori not really as public of a figure as Junichi Masuda, at least on Twitter, and making all the tweets and announcements and stuff. So yeah, just kind of retweeting official Pokemon information. But Junichi Masuda, like, we'll see them both together in interviews. That's kind of where the rest of this video is going to be going. Like, what are we expecting? What's happening with Junichi Masuda being on the move? What does it mean for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Or just other Pokemon projects? The Chief Creative Fellow is now back in America and engaging with the Pokemon Company International. But it's the thing about going to New York and now traveling around the country where things get interesting. So, Game Informer for Pokemon Sword and Shield had major exclusive interviews and game access to break massive stories about Pokemon Sword and Shield. The most interesting parts, we're talking about these starters because we did not have the evolutions at this time, and October is the expectation for evolution information. We got some hints about Sobble, Scorbunny, Grookey, which then lined up into the Affleck leaks, which were confirmed at this time, and then even James Turner popping around, so some other cool stuff, burning questions, but not getting, like, you know, a new trailer worth of information outside of the coverage trailer. But, you know, it wasn't like the major big thing that happened. Even with all these stories, very little came out about Pokemon Sword and Shield, but it was still fun. Game Informer 2017. So this was also when, again, now we can see Omori, Masuda having some cool breakdowns. And I think with Game Informer, was it that they went to the Game Freak offices more? I think that they actually got invited. Yeah, we traveled to Game Freak's headquarters in Tokyo. So I guess not exactly with Junichi Masuda going, but we've seen it to where, like, oh, new Pokemon game, Junichi Masuda goes on travel, GG easy. Also, I wanted to make the note that ever since leaving Game Freak, Junichi Masuda looks a lot better. It's like he reverse aged like a decade almost, instead of just being like super stressed and stuff from all the hate of the Pokemon community. So cool. Other information, Polygon interviews and whatnot, October 2019 for Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's a lot of information like that. Even go back to like Pokemon Let's Go, we've seen some interesting things that can come from Pokemon media tours around the new games. So this was like Japanese YouTuber, major channel. They actually got to play Pokemon Let's Go early, and through that we were able to see exclusive gameplay. And that happened around August, where, you know, not even a demo. It's like, hey, you get to play 30 minutes of Pokemon Let's Go. You get to make coverage about it, and that's going to be what the viewers can engage with. So I'm wondering, like, how this is going to break down. Junichi Masuda heading to the East Coast, most likely going to be New York, and there is the Nintendo store in New York, but also, like, major events and large Nintendo, like, corporate stuff does happen there. So I'm wondering, like, how that's going to happen. It was confirmed, like, this isn't just Junichi Masuda walking out and going, yo, I want to visit America because I haven't left Japan in a while. No, it's specifically a business trip, which does make it a bit more interesting, and we can see the different kinds of business that can come from that. So, yeah, it seems like everything is lining up. You know, October, unless we are going to start seeing, like, these articles coming out, some of this early stuff, and there's a lot of different ways it could happen, like just early gameplay. We've also seen this for reviews, where it's like, oh, we got to play a chunk of Pokemon Sword and Shield. We can't say everything that we've experienced, but we can, like, kind of have it. So, early review stuff coming out for Pokemon. This is kind of where that's lining up. Junichi Masuda also just kind of at large doing what he wants, or maybe this is directly tied to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because he still worked on the games and would have worked on the games at the point before he left Game Freak. So, cool stuff, and Junichi Masuda tweets. So, him being back out there, really nice to see, especially on business after, like, the departure from Game Freak. He's doing well, and now we're going to see how this happens, and it's a reminder, October. Media campaign begins, other stuff gonna happen. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.